Welcome to the Sebcast, the home of the #1 network for your life. This is where we think more slowly, look more deeply, and discover that Jesus isn't just interested in what we do, but also in the voices we listen to. Because long before a life falls apart, long before a relationship breaks, long before someone ends up far from God, there's usually first a whisper. It's rarely dramatic at the start. No one wakes up one morning and suddenly decides, today I'm going to destroy my whole life. It happens much more subtly than that. It's small thoughts, small excuses, small compromises that slowly become normal until they later change your whole direction. And that's exactly how sin works. Sin rarely shouts, it whispers. That's why the serpent in Genesis 3 didn't attack Eve with violence. He started with a question. Did God really say? One small whisper of doubt. One small shift away from trust. Because the enemy understands something we often forget, if he can slowly shift your thinking, your life will eventually follow. And honestly, many of us know those whispers well. It's not such a big deal. Everyone does it. You deserve it. Just this once. No one will know. You can control it. This is how compromise starts, not as rebellion, but as reasonableness. It feels logical at first, even justified. That's why the most dangerous sins are usually the ones we have the best explanations for. Just look at Saul in 1 Samuel 15. God gave him a clear command, but when Saul saw the best animals, the whisper began. Just keep a few back. It's actually wise. You can offer them to God. And suddenly disobedience sounds incredibly spiritual. Saul convinced himself that compromise is actually worship. It's scary how easily people still do this. We call materialism wisdom. We call bitterness discernment. We call lust curiosity. We call control responsibility. We call gossip prayer requests. Because sin doesn't need good reasons, it just needs good excuses. And the problem is, what you allow in the moment often starts to control you later. That's why small compromises are so dangerous. No one plans to become addicted. No one plans to drift emotionally from their marriage. No one plans to become cold toward God. But small whispers become habits. Habits become patterns. Patterns eventually become identity. That's maybe why some people feel spiritually exhausted today. Because deep inside you know there are certain whispers you've been paying attention to for too long. You know there are areas where the Holy Spirit has been speaking to you for a long time, but you keep rationalizing. You try to make peace with something God actually wants to set you free from. And yet, here's the incredible thing about Jesus. He doesn't address compromise to humiliate you, but to set you free. That's why Jesus said in John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Jesus isn't trying to steal your joy when he asks for obedience. He's trying to save you from the things that slowly destroy you. Because every whisper of sin ultimately promises something it can never give. It promises freedom, but brings bondage. It promises comfort, but brings emptiness. It promises life, but slowly steals it away. And maybe the question today is simple. Which voice do you listen to most? The voice you trust most will ultimately shape your life. That's why we at the #1 network for your life believe that discipleship isn't just about big spiritual moments. It's about the small daily choices of whose voice we will follow. The whisper of compromise, or the voice of Jesus who still speaks softly but clearly, follow me. Until tomorrow, take care.